different twist.
Mike, you may have felt it yourself. Southern Ontarians have been shaken up in the middle of the night a few times now. The frostquake. And now we are at the Wellington Brewery where they have their very own version of the frostquake. All right. Not sure if it's going to shake us up as much. We've got the brewmaster himself, Marvin. Tell us about your frostquake.
Well, we've felt those tremors here in Guelph, so we decided to make a beer that really embodied that weather phenomenon. So we took one of the most extreme beers out there, a barley wine. So this is like 10% alcohol. But then we went one step further and we put it in bourbon barrels and aged it in those barrels, and that makes this extreme beer, not unlike the weather phenomenon. So you get great notes of coconut and oak and vanilla from this beer. So
I think you have a lot of our friends at home really intrigued, wanting to experience this particular frostquake. Okay, I'm going to send it back to you inside, Mike.
Thanks, Cash. We'll now go with more.
When seemingly new weather phenomenon surfaces like the frostquake, it could be a reason to celebrate. It could be the inspiration behind, some new ideas at the Wellington Brewery. Here we have the brewmaster himself, Marvin. So why did you choose to name your next beer the frostquake particularly?
Well, to be honest, we actually had the beer first. So we had this beautiful beer and we're like, what are we going to call it? And all of a sudden we started actually hearing the frostquakes here in Guelph. People started talking about them, and it was like, this is a crazy weather phenomenon. It really speaks to what this beer is. Somebody suggested it, and it was like, this is a great name for a beer, especially this beer. So we linked the two together, and the rest is history.
So does it have to be drank really cold? Must it be extreme cold?
Actually, the style, you actually want to drink it a little bit warmer. So you can warm up on a nice cold day inside, serve it around 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, and enjoy it.
Okay, beautiful. Now, I'm not sure if extreme cold is reason to toast, but we will in this case. I'm going to send it back to you inside with how cold it's going to get.
This weather, check this out.
That's right. Here at the Wellington Brewery in Guelph, they're clearly inspired by the weather. These wellies, they're everywhere, and I love it. And now they have something a little more winter-oriented brewing right now. It's called the Frostquake beer, and we're now talking to the brewmaster himself, Marvin. Marvin, tell me, does weather typically inspire you as a brewmaster?
Absolutely. I mean, with the cold we've been having, I really wanted something that could warm me up. So something a little higher in alcohol, a little more complex in flavors. So that's why we chose to brew this Frostquake beer. Okay,
now the Frostquake being an extreme weather phenomenon, would you say it's extreme?
Oh, absolutely. We took a regular barley wine and aged it in barrels, so you get complex oak and chocolate and caramel into this beer. So it's pretty extreme.
Very cool. Now, it's going to be back by popular demand. It was supposed to be a one-off, but my understanding is that it will be back next year. And, of course, now it's all about your weather story and that extreme cold that we've been contending with. Back to you inside. Cheers.
Thanks a lot, Kat.
Flashing red lights. A lot of motorists have been up against that reality. Many road closures in the Dufferin County. In fact, there was a state of emergency declared in this region back on Wednesday afternoon because of these awful driving conditions, snow and blowing snow. And then, of course, the frigid temperatures turning some roads into icy conditions as well. Alone on Wednesday, there were 19 collisions, 2 of which involved emergency personnel. So it wasn't a good situation on the roads, nor will it be in the near future. So the main message, again, is to stay off the roads and especially respect these signs, because the problem is that not a lot of people are at this point. I'm going to send it back to you inside with more on the weather story.